My name is Vincent Faney. I have always had a passion to become a community builder, specifically with a special interest of raising money so that as a community, we can take many of the current houses off the market and then lease them to organizations which are involved in setting up people in rooms for homes for a fraction of the current rents. It is my hope that they house disabled veterans, homeless disabled veterans, and other people in desperate need of affordable housing. I'm so dedicated to accomplishing this lifelong goal that I'm willing to throw my only house into the ring with the hope of inspiring other people in the community to do the same. Perhaps with any luck, my sacrifice will inspire retirees to put in their wills their homes so that at the time of their passing, these homes will be thrown into the ring as well, and then be used by the organizations I have vetted who do a remarkable job housing those people who are currently suffering housing insecurity, so that everybody in the community can be confident that I will make good on my promise. I have put forth a legal letter of intent to organizations that are set up to provide this service. However, I would be remiss if I did not mention that I owe just a small amount on the house, leaving me with a hefty equity. In the event that I'm unsuccessful raising money to pay off my property within an allotted time, I will sadly have to sell the house. Why? Well, because it would put people who are living there now enjoying extreme discounts on the streets. And the fact of the matter is, these people cannot currently afford anything else that's out there. The only thing available to them in Medford area would be the tent city. At least they would have a dry place to live and have access to supplies and showers and so forth, but it's not an optimal situation. I would prefer to see money raised so that every person would at least have a Conestoga, a community village of Conestogas, and maybe some pallet sheds or tiny houses which they could be cared for. Now, another reason why this would be sad for me to sell the house and why I would have to is because over the years, I simply could not seem to get anyone interested to work with me to attain my life dream. When I owned my last two properties, the only people who feigned interest in my mission were merely looking to room in either of those places for a fraction of what the market would charge for rents at other places. These are people who survive on limited incomes. My offer to them was that I would gladly rent to them for an extreme discount if they would help me to set up fundraisers to pay the meager amount still owed on the houses so that they may be assured that they would have a place to live and continue to enjoy an extreme discount, while in the meantime helping me to engineer such benefits for other people who are also struggling on limited incomes. However, my one-on-one with people who have rented rooms for these big discounts with the hopes that they could see my vision proved to be very disappointing. My disillusionment became unbearable when I could not get them off their butts to go out into the community to help me with my dream. I realized my aspirations of seeing my dream becoming so successful, we as a team would gather other properties to provide for other men and women in the same situation as they. And unfortunately, this did not pan out. Not only did they refuse to help, but they decided for some reason to spend their limited incomes on frivolous things and activities, and decided that this soft-hearted fool would not require them to pay any rent. As a result, I could not afford to keep both properties and continue to support these disingenuous deadbeats. My efforts to get anyone in the community outraged, chronically outraged by the absence of affordable housing for people on limited incomes, to jump on board with my mission, regardless of the numerous times I presented the idea on Facebook or the numerous times I emailed my offer to various organizations that suffer a shortage of properties of which they could use for their mission statement, also proved to be fruitless. As I mentioned, I was unable to subsidize the lifestyle of renters who gave a rat's ass about others or my dream and keep up with the repairs of both properties. I was forced to sell the one property in Eugene to make necessary repairs on my property in Southern Oregon, which I also had given discounts to people who are financially stressed as well, with the exception of a well-heeled friend who is renting one room and insists on paying full rent because he's trying to be supportive of my mission. At any rate, I had hoped that these people, without jobs or hardly any responsibilities, would help me with my goals, something they intimated they would be interested in helping me to accomplish when I offered the discounts they desperately needed. Unfortunately, this would prove to be fruitless as well. Now get this, none of these people who are obviously stressed to their limits on meager incomes would be able to afford to rent any room or house in Southern Oregon area, even if someone gifted them the first month, last month rent and the security deposit always required. Currently, the rents they are paying me are 2 to 3 times less than what other rentals are charging. Once again, I try to reach out to various social activists and organizations, not only in the Eugene Springfield area, but the Southern Oregon area as well. I tried this to reach out on Facebook and once again via email. And again, instead of anyone jumping on board to stir up a buzz, all I got was a few emojis with either a thumbs up or hearts signifying love. I was disappointed because I had clearly asked the communities to join me to make this happen, with the next goal for us to be attaining other houses in this venture. To add to my disappointment is the fact that I have not raised the rent on any of these people I've given incredible discounts to. Now, these unambitious renters, despite the rising cost of goods and services, have been climbing steadily. They chronically complain that this unfortunate turn of circumstances is making it tougher for them to make their rent. One would think that this would inspire them to help me with my mission, or to encourage them to seek gainful employment, even part-time work, especially considering so many businesses are begging for employees, virtually making it an employee-seeking market. No such luck. I can no longer deal personally with such people. Sure, I could easily afford to live in my house by myself, and it'd be easy to find a property management company to lease the place out for me, and then, of course, I would make a tidy profit. However, this would mean that I would be no closer to my dream. What really hurts is that so many of my friends and other people who are die-hard capitalists have been telling me for years, "I told you so," and all sorts of such crap. My latest venture of being kicked out of the homeless encampment from the mayor and city council in Eugene my purpose got in the way of my purpose in engaging in a fundraiser. And this mishap really provided big laughs to the people who may have been unsympathetic of the homeless and organizations that advertise their desire to help. Yes, that's right. A lot of these people have a dim view of most nonprofit organizations and self-described social activists. And I gotta say, their smugness really gets my goat. Many of them have been so unsupportive regarding my endeavors that over the years they have repeatedly refused on numerous occasions to help me to get the word out with networking that would have amplified my chances of accomplishing my lifelong dream. I hate the fact that some of them seem more than just a bit satisfied that I have failed, and failed hard, during these past 30 years. A few of these "I told you so" folk have told me that my failure is due to inadequate advertising and not doing anything worthy enough that would grab people's attention. The fact that these same people refuse to help me network fills me with more than just a bit of rancor. I guess to their way of thinking, that long 2 to 3 days of nonstop walking without food or sleep was not up to snuff. Although I do take pleasure in the fact that these walks did inspire a legion of people to donate a few $1,000s to Women's Space. I'm also fond of reminding many of these people that in the past I raised quite a bit of money for the Alzheimer's Association and Food for Lane County and so forth by walking from Eugene to the California-Oregon border. I must also admit that these various successful fundraisers did not inspire my friends, nor most of the self-described social activists in the community. No one was inspired to come forward to offer support for future and hopefully grander fundraisers. So I decided to make this last gambit towards my lifelong dream. However, as a goal-oriented guy, I believe that all goals should be approached with every thought, every utterance, and every action to achieve a mission. I decided to engage in a multi-level fundraiser with the hopes of making this happen. I plan on kicking off a fundraiser to begin my dream of attaining affordable housing to lease to organizations for an extreme discount by breaking 2 of David Blaine's records, all in one event. and with a twist. David Blaine, in one of his stunts, fasted for 44 days, drinking only water. And on another occasion, he allowed himself to be buried alive in a plexiglass coffin for 7 days while he was also fasting. The buried alive stunt, in my estimation, was easy compared to what I'm about to attempt. In his plexiglass coffin, he was able to see the legions of curious people who came by to look down at him while he was sequestered in his coffin that was under a clear aquarium populated with fish, and this all weighed a few tons. While he was in the coffin, he was able to wave at the people who came to visit him. He had the distinct advantage of using the sunrises and sunsets to help him count the days of his confinement. He could see the stars and moon at night. He had plenty of visual stimulus. I also plan to engage in a 45-day water fast. Thereby, if I succeed, I will beat Dave Blaine's record by 1 day. The first 2 weeks, I will be locked in an enclosure with a security seal by people from the media and other witnesses. This enclosure will be stocked with all the weight training equipment I carry along in my cargo trailer when I'm out and about on the road. During the first 14 days of fasting, I will weight train vigorously every day. During the next 31 days, I'll be locked in a sensory deprivation tank by a padlock. In addition, will be a security seal, once again put on by reporters and other witnesses. Unlike David Blaine, I will be immersed in total darkness, total silence, and I'll have no way of keeping track of time. I will have no access to social media, no computer, no music, just total isolation. I will have nothing to occupy me except for breathing exercises, yoga, and the use of some resistance bands. I will attempt to keep my mind occupied by mentally recalling material I've studied over the years. I may engage in breath counting as well. One thing that concerns me is that, unlike David Blaine, I will have no one around to determine if I need medical attention or help of any sort. One reason is they won't be able to see me. Also, I learned that the time perception in isolation, especially when enclosed in total darkness and silence, time distortion is very unsettling. 2 hours in a tank can actually feel like 12 hours, and on a few occasions, 12 hours felt more like 6. Sleep schedules become erratic, and the time spent sleeping may be as brief as 4 hours or as unexpectedly long as 16 hours. Because of these circumstances, I have to trust that my security personnel and the reporters that lock me in will release me on the 45th day of this fundraiser. Even before stepping into the tank, I am a bit paranoid that something terrible will happen and divert my crew from this assignment, or that I may die in my sleep or have a heart attack and nobody but me will be aware of this. So that is a concern. Now, because of this unique situation, I will install a microphone in the tank and a light switch that will signal my crew if for any reason I decide that I must tap out. The microphone will be set up with the speaker amplifier situated a distance outside of the sensory deprivation tank, more for those people who are curious to listen to my yoga chants and breath counts, or when I feel like singing or reciting to myself those recollections of what I have previously studied over the years. Or perhaps even psychotic ramblings I may or may not be in the throes of, whatever hallucinations occur. During this 45-day event, the entire fast will be live on streaming video so that people can log on and be assured that I am not cheating. Also, I'm asking people if they will pledge money for every day I manage to stay on my fast, or how many pounds I will lose both during the first 14 days and also the last 31 days. To aid my fundraiser, I'll be setting up a crowd-sharing fundraising page at which everyone is invited to donate to this great cause. In addition to this crowd-sharing page, I'll be offering my books, various t-shirts, a training DVD, and training advice, which I'll be able to impart once I come out of the tank, of course. No matter how this fundraiser pans out, I will continue to offer my books, DVDs, t-shirts, and fitness and keto consultations to raise money to pursue my dream. These will be available on eBay, Amazon, Facebook, and other media outlets. So please feel free to check out the rest of this podcast and listen to a summary of each of the books I offer, and to get a gander at all the organizations who I believe are doing a great job of providing for people their staff serves. I want to thank you for your time, and I hope you all stay tuned.
Bye.